Welcome to Realtors Unfiltered,
where Bitterroot Valley real estate gets served raw with a side of chaos and a splash of sass.
We're ditching the polished pitch and spilling the behind-the-scenes tea. Think deals gone sideways, realty regrets, and clients who ghost harder than your ex.
Whether you're a seasoned agent, a curious buyer, or just here for the stories, you're in the right place. Just the truth behind the transactions.
This is real estate unfiltered and unhinged. That tastes like money in real estate. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Take action.
Our first official episode. Welcome back. Or two.
We're glad you're here. Now, we wanted to start this episode with the topic of how to actually get started in real estate and like the step-by-steps, because a lot of people, they'll research, and online you can find so many more questions than you can find answers to.
Yeah, and we wanted to make it more of like our personal touch too of like our stories and how
so
we
you
got
know it's
started.
real.
Yeah. Hint.
Mm-hmm. So, Ashlynn, why did you want to get started in real estate?
Oh man, why I wanted to get started, I was naive. I thought that it was going to be so easy and I was just going to be rolling in the dough. I was very wrong. Very wrong. Why did you want to get started?
I wanted a career, and I didn't want to go to college for this career. I wanted to make money right away. So I was like, I'm not going to pay for school and get into debt. I want to go into a career, get a certification, and then make money. But I was like, I'm not going to get into debt. The course is only $725, and then, I'm sure desk fees are like $1,000 or like whatever else. I'll save up some money and go from there. So that was my plan.
So, okay, time frame wise, you graduated in what, June?
June of 2022.
Okay, and then you got your license in 22 as well? Yeah.
Well, I passed my test in 2022, and it was like just before my birthday, my 19th birthday, and my birthday is December 27th, 2 days after Christmas, which kind of is a bad thing. But it was like an early birthday present. Woohoo, I finally passed after taking it I don't know how many times.
Yeah, we'll get into that part in a second.
And then, yeah.
So you didn't have much time to really think about it. I mean, I didn't take
I thought
either,
about it, and I thought it was between this or going to be a stewardess. Going to be a stewardess, and I thought that was a good thing, too. It was like free travel, I'm young. But I had a boyfriend, and I was like, I'm not going to do that because I'll be away from him. Which was kind of I'm glad I took this route anyways.
Yeah, funny how life happens.
Uh-huh.
But, so you took yours in fall-ish. Kind of
yeah.
winter.
So when all my like classmates that I graduated with were starting college, I was like, I'm going to start school in the fall, too. And the Connole-Morton class was in fall. They do a spring and a fall course, so I took the fall one, and that's a 70-hour course in Missoula.
And then how long after did you take the test?
And then it was like 2 weeks after.
Ooh.
Yeah. Don't wait.
Yeah.
You forget everything, and there's a lot of information packed into that 70-hour course, 8 to 5, Monday through Sunday.
Yes. It's getting a little bit ahead of myself. We both took the same course.
Mm-hmm.
I took mine in spring.
Mm-hmm.
So it was approaching like peak season for real estate, which is overwhelming for a new agent. But also I got my license last year, so 24.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like, it's the craziest market people have seen.
Well, and last year, it was an election year. And usually in election years, the busy season isn't usually the busy season. And that's kind of strange because last year our busy season was more towards the fall, which was kind of weird. But it was also like, because people don't want to be selling their house right in between all of that and the nonsense there's a lot of factors going on. But last year, for sure, it was like midsummer to end of fall was the busy season. It's usually beginning of spring to end of summer, kind of into the fall. So you joined at a different weird year.
Yeah, it was. I kept telling everybody that it was the wrong time to join real estate.
Oh, you can't say that.
Yeah.
It's always,
Yeah, somebody told me that.
you know, like
there's never a wrong
there's
time.
never, yeah.
And then seeing like the light of it is, if I make it through this,
it's not always dependent on the market.
Yeah.
You can't rely on the market. People are going to be like, oh, when the market crashes, I'm going to buy a home. Okay, well, when the market crashes, these prices will rise. Maybe the rates are down, but your prices are the crazy part. Like, I just can't explain to people. And they're like, well, what do you mean, you know?
I always say, like, my opinion is buy when prices are, or rates are high, prices are low. Because rates
you could always
change.
Refinance.
Yeah.
Get that lower rate. And then when rates are low, you're also competing with so many other buyers. If you're trying to buy, then you're also going to end up paying more because there's multiple offer situations.
Yeah, agreed.
So
crazy. It was a crazy, needless to say, it was a crazy time to join.
Yeah.
But I kind of jumped in really naive, thinking that all I had to pay for was the course, the application fees. I didn't know what really came after that. Yeah,
and you find along the road. Like, I feel like in real estate anyways, like your first transaction, I'm the type of person, or I learned real quick, I want to know what's next. The next 10 steps. I want it all laid out for me because I need to know. Well, you can't do that. And that's just life in general. I feel like you need to get to this step and then figure out what you're going to do to get to the next step and just take it one time, take it one day at a time. And
we go from such a structured lifestyle. Yeah. I mean, right from coming out of school, you knew your day-to-day schedule.
Yeah.
Right out of school, I got into banking. I was in banking for 6 years. And it was
and
so
you have
scheduled.
Set hours.
Yeah, I knew
you're an
what I was
employer.
doing every single day.
Or you're an employee.
Yeah.
You have an employer. As a realtor, you're an independent contractor. You definitely have to be self-motivated. You have to tell yourself.
You have to create your own structure.
Yeah, you have to tell yourself your own schedule.
Yeah.
And stick to a routine. Yeah.
It's a tough place to get started, and I wish that I knew.
No one's telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't really.
I mean, you can ask, but you need to be the person asking and be the person in the room and in the office, and it's a big deal. How do you become a realtor step by step? I think definitely the first thing, take the course. We took ours at Connole-Morton, and we're also going to put our other courses that you can take in the show notes below. And you could sign up online. I registered online, and it's usually in the spring and in the fall. It's 70 hours of a licensing course. It's $725, at least ours was. And
yeah, the Connole-Morton.
Yeah, the Connole-Morton in Missoula. And you could take it online too, but I recommend in person because you will probably fall asleep.
Yeah, 1,000% you'll fall asleep if you take it online. And the likelihood of you passing goes down too, but just because you're not really paying attention.
Yeah, I need to be in the room. And you can't really hear online, like, people asking questions, or you can't ask questions, really. It's kind of hard. But I liked that course, and I learned a lot, and they give you this huge book, and they usually have homework for you every night, so it's from 8 to 5 every day. You probably have an hour or two of homework.
Did you do the homework?
I didn't.
You didn't?
No. I mean, I did, like, go through
like the first days?
few, yeah. And then I was like, this is a lot. And I was like, I need to go home because I lived an hour away. I need to go drive home, go make myself some food, go to bed, go back and do it again. And at lunch, I would usually do, like, the quiz. So that hour lunch they gave us, I would just bring my lunch and sit and do that.
Yeah, I mean, kind of similar. Did the same thing. First couple days, I did the homework.
Yeah.
And then I kind of, I was making flashcards, like, as I went on.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I really think the only reason I passed is from the flashcards. So highly recommend doing flashcards. Mm-hmm. And then...
Did you do, like, the questions on the flashcards or just the vocab?
Both.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to, like, repetitive, you know, keep it fresh. But nice. I drove in, I lived, like, almost an hour away, too. Oh. You had to be there at 8. Class was over at 5.
Yeah.
I packed my lunch. I was studying on my lunch, and then I stayed until 8 p.m. every day afterwards, too.
That's crazy.
To study.
I wasn't that dedicated. That's why I didn't go to college.
I was
I
unemployed.
don't learn like that. Oh, okay.
I had to pass. I was not about to pay for the test more than once.
Yeah. So I still had my job, and I was working part-time waitressing at Paul's Pancake Parlor, if you know that. And I just took a week off, and I was like, okay, I can't afford to take anything else off because I got to pay for everything. And I knew there was dues coming up. I didn't know how much they were. But I also did know that the test was $106, which at the University of Montana, you can sign up online. And you usually, like, when you start the class, you should probably book your test right away because they did get full. They did get booked up.
I booked my, or registered for my test the same day that I registered for the course.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that too. Mm-hmm. As soon as possible.
Yeah, so I think that's the only reason that I got the test time that I did. Because there were still, like, 3 slots open only. And I booked it months in advance from the course.
Well, and you also did the spring. So I did the fall, and it wasn't as booked. There was more availability, but...
Yeah, and my class was also, like, booked.
Yeah, there was how many people in the class? Like, 100? And then however many online. But also,
this is... I think that the education for becoming a real estate agent needs to be updated. Like education-wise, but also like technology.
Yeah.
And the same course that you take to become a real estate agent
is the brokers
also
too.
The broker.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you have to retake it, relearn everything that you've been doing not this whole entire time. And to become a broker, you need so many transactions too.
Yeah, you do. But I mean, that's like a nurse.
But yeah, it is kind of funny.
Becoming a nurse and then going back and taking the same education and now you're a doctor. You know?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I do know.
That's an extreme example.
It's also, I feel like it's just like an extra endorsement, like you're that much more experienced. And I think by transactions, you are. You've been through the ringer. That's just how real estate is, and then, you know, the other course, but there's extra steps.
Becoming getting the broker endorsement, I agree.
Yeah.
But also, it should cover more of those oddball transactions, but also situations.
Yeah, I was very surprised that there wasn't, like, situations in real life. There was mainly just rules, regulations, how not to get sued, and the basics of how real estate starts, I guess. Mm-hmm. The general concept. Yeah. And, like, the math of how... It's random, and I don't really remember it, but...
I remember going through the buy-sell
in the
course, but I don't remember any other contract.
There was nothing else.
Yeah, that I can recall.
And they change the buy-sell, I swear, every year.
Yeah, when I got my license in June of 24. They went through the lawsuit it was in 2023.
There was a ton of lawsuit cases that they walked through.
Yeah, they did. But what changed our forms?
Okay.
So I had to learn the old way. And then, so licensed in June.
Mm-hmm. And then everything changed.
And then changed in August of 24.
Oh, yeah.
And then changed again.
You did join kind of a weird time then.
Yeah.
Because I learned all the original, got that under my belt, and then I learned all the new stuff as it was coming out.
Yeah.
So in real time. And I was lucky enough to understand all of that. But When you're coming in, not knowing the first original one and then trying to learn the next, you're just like all over the place.
And they knew that the change was coming.
Yeah.
But they couldn't teach us because the test was on the old.
Oh my gosh. So they don't update.
So they're like, hey, remember this, but don't learn it, if that makes sense. And
well, what kind of schooling is that?
The same one you did. So
they were funny. I did like them. They kept me engaged.
So. I sat in the front row because I knew if I sat in the back, I was sleeping.
I was like middle. I'm never like the front row type of person.
Yeah, me neither. But in this case, I was.
You always get called on.
I was determined. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, the girl next to me was really smart.
Well, okay, so you go to do your course, and then you choose a brokerage. I mean, I had my brokerage already picked out when I was in the course. Some people don't, but you're going to want to as soon as possible because when you pass that test, you have to apply for your license. And applying for your license is another $80 on top of that $725 course, on top of that $106 test, which however many times you took, I had to take it like 3. Yeah. And
yeah, what is the statistics? Wow.
I don't know what the stats are on that, but
wow, why didn't I say that?
It's not. See, you learned the old way, so I got to teach you the new.
It's only 30%.
Oh, it is?
Only 30% pass on the first attempt.
Okay, well, I don't feel that bad then.
Oh, no.
But there's also 2 sections. There's the national and the state. And the first time I didn't pass either. The second time I passed the national. The third time I finally passed the state.
But they didn't tell you that. So, like, if you passed national,
you don't have to retake it. Yeah.
You don't have to retake national.
And I retook it because they didn't tell me, and I just didn't know, and I was like, oh, got to take it again.
Yeah, no, don't. It's the same price.
Yeah. Which is kind of lame. But,
yeah.
You know.
To have to do it again.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, sorry. Anyways, the
test, state's only like 25 questions or something, and the national's like way more. I feel like it was like 100 or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. But it's a lot more than the state.
Each state varies too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're in $725 for the course if you take the course that we took. There's cheaper options, but kind of like.
Yeah, and you quit your job, so you're like freaking out every time a bill comes. You're like, oh god,
I'm straight shitting my pants.
Well, you had some money saved up, I'm sure, thinking you needed that.
Yeah, I mean, I had savings, which is really what got me by those couple months. Yeah. But still, just like seeing it leave.
Yeah, and then sure enough, it's gone in a month.
Yeah.
And like when you do join a brokerage, you have to pay the brokerage fees and the board of realty fees. So each county has a board of realtors.
Well, sorry, let's back that up just a little bit. You're correct. Yeah. But if you find a brokerage that's not part of the Realtor Association, you don't have to.
Yeah, that's rare, and I feel like there's a lot of...
If you don't, that's crazy.
If you're new and joining one of those brokerages, I feel like there's a lot of liability.
Oh, yeah.
And
huge.
That just scares me. Like, we have E&O insurance, and I'm sure they do too, but...
Oh, you have to have insurance to be licensed.
Which usually comes with your monthly dues. At least ours does.
Yeah.
It varies per brokerage.
No.
But yeah.
I need to check mine. I think I'm paying for 2. Because I was responsible.
You're paying double?
Yeah.
Well, now you're double covered.
Yeah. True. I was responsible for it at my old brokerage.
Okay. No, it's within our desk fees.
Yeah, which is nice. But that's not always the case.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you come out, you're already, what is that?
Say you just passed your test.
$800.
You're going to your brokerage.
$30.
Yeah.
And that's just for the education.
Uh-huh.
And then you got the $80 application fee.
Uh-huh. And then so you apply for your application fee, and you have to have your brokerage on there. So you have to have your
you have to be contracted with a brokerage. So
so you have to already be in touch with your broker, and they have to know that you're applying for it, and then you have to get like some of their information for that, and then send it off, and then 2 weeks later you'll receive your license, which you'll give to your broker, because they have to have that on file to have you as an agent. But you're an independent contractor, you're not an employee, which also confuses a lot of people too, because that's tax-wise, kind of confusing.
Kind of.
I guess I've been in it longer than you, but so I've already filed for 2 tax years, and it's pretty easy because you get a 1099, and you kind of fill that out. But then the write-offs, if you're not good at keeping track of your expenses, you need to do that right away. So write down, have a book or something, have a document, have an Excel sheet, write down everything that you pay for that goes along with your business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's mileage, that's all your dues, all of your schooling fees, your test, your license fee, and then all
client meals.
Yeah.
Which food for open houses.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Your business cards, everything. And then when you get your check, or if you sell something, you have to save 20% of that too, which some people might not know that. And then their taxes come up and they're owing $2,000 and they're like, oh, why do I owe? Well, you're an independent contractor.
It doesn't get taken out of.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Which is kind of like, oh, you get this huge check and you're like, yeah, it's all for me. And you're like, take out your 20% or 25, 30% in taxes. And you're like, oh, just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's expensive. After I guess I was really naive. I knew that I had dues, but I was told that it was only a couple $100. And
yeah.
so
just to get you probably into it first, too. And I don't know. I feel like that $1,200 hits you like a brick.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So thinking that it was only going to be $200 max, and then getting an invoice for $1,200
for the yearly association fee.
Yeah. And then on
Which
top
I didn't
of that,
know about either.
because I got my license in June.
Yeah.
July is when you pay for MLS.
I thought it was June.
Oh, maybe I think
it's June.
They send the invoice June,
and then
due
the end of
July.
The MLS, which is $600 a year that you have to be a part of.
Yeah, if your broker's a part of it, which
you want to be.
Yeah, most cases they are going to be a part of it. And then you get your Century Lock invoice.
Which that's only, I don't know if it's for everyone, but our Century Lock, we use lock boxes and we can rent them, and that's $120 a year.
Which it doesn't seem that bad when you're but when you're getting
but they're
hit
adding
with
up.
all of these,
yes, all at the same time,
and you're unemployed, you're freaking out.
Don't quit your job.
Yeah, have a plan,
or have a lot of savings.
Yeah, have a plan, because it really adds up,
and you don't know when you're gonna get your first check either. I mean, unless you have something lined up, like, oh, my parents are gonna sell their house, and then you get in real estate and then you sell right away. Like, good for you. I hate that, but
yeah, I did not have that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
For myself, but I've learned a lot.
Yeah, and that's why we're here telling everyone. So hopefully you learn too.
Yeah, because it's scary. It's scary to get started, and you're just seeing all of these. I was very discouraged.
Real estate is definitely a risk that you have to jump in with 2 feet to actually be successful.
A marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too. I'm like, this is a career, not a job.
Yeah.
And that's what I keep telling myself, and I'm like, the more I do it, the more I'm in it, the more I love it. So there's no point that I wanted to back out. And with all the support that we have here, you're very supported. You're not wondering, oh, am I going to have a job because of this market? No. It has nothing to do with that. It has, because no matter what, people are always buying and selling homes. Or, because there's people moving to go see family, people moving in and out of state all the time for work, even. Like, they have to.
I don't necessarily think that your success is based off of the market, but it's based off of your knowledge of the market that you're in.
And that doesn't even mean just your knowledge. It can be your team, your brokerage, everyone who's supporting you. So I think that's really a good start. Choosing the right brokerage.
Yeah, knowing what you're getting yourself into. And
looking into what kind of training they have too. Like, I had the privilege of getting the Buffini training, which is great. It's a process. And if you're one of those people who needs to be, like, told what to do, especially when you're starting, because I'm like, okay, I'm in the office. What am I supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be checking emails? how am I supposed to be doing this? Who am I supposed to be talking to, reaching out to? Well, you could do expireds. There's different ways to get leads, but they don't just come at you.
Mm-mm. They're not handed to you, which was, I also thought was...
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like, oh, I'm going to know so many people. I'm going to get so involved. Everyone's going to use me as a realtor. Well,
people are just going to walk in the office and sell their house.
Well, that happened to me, but...
Oh, okay.
Which was
nice.
Great. It was. And actually, that did happen to you.
It did, but not at first.
Yes.
So it does happen.
It does.
I should take that back. It does happen.
Yes.
But not how I was anticipating it to happen.
Yeah. But you're sitting on the floor day.
Yeah.
You're doing your day-to-day. You're trying to create leads for yourself. And then on top of that, you have walk-ins sometimes.
Yeah. So it is.
Yeah.
It does happen, but not how I thought it was going to happen.
And our office has great locations. The corner.
Oh, yeah.
And just like our farmer's market is right across from our office right there. And like if you just set up a stand and get to know everyone in our cute little town of Stevensville, you're the face of the exit. Like,
besides like the biggest challenge of like the financial and education and just everything, putting myself out there was hard.
I was very shy before.
Yeah. I guess.
Like, you didn't really know me when I first started, but like I wouldn't talk to people. And everyone's like, "You're a realtor?"
At regionals, when I was like, "Okay, so why is Chloe not at dinner with us?" And they're like, she needed some time. And I'm like, "What do you mean?"
I booked my own Airbnb away from everyone because I was like, it's my vacation and I can socialize when I want to.
I was mad at you.
I needed my little recovery spa time and wine, and then I come the next day and socialize with everyone. Which was pretty fun, and I'm glad that we did that. I did lose my Airbnb key. That was a runaround. And guess where it was? After I went back and forth from Fairmont Hot Springs to Butte 3 times to look for my keys. It was in my pocket. At 1 a.m, I'm like about to cry standing at this thing, contacting the Airbnb people. And I'm like, I feel my pockets again because I did it before. And I swear it wasn't there, okay? But then I actually put my hands in my pocket this time. And I'm like, oh my God. So, yeah.
That's what you get.
Yeah, that is what I get. Yeah. So that's what I was doing.
That's too funny.
But for those of you that don't know, we have a exit regional refresher every year, and all of the exits in Montana get together. And Idaho. And
that's new, though.
Yeah, because the franchise owners also own Idaho. But it was mainly Montana.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any like active offices in Idaho yet.
Yeah. But we all get together, and it's usually like we've had ours at Fairmont Hot Springs, Chico Hot Springs, and we usually just drink, have some food, and have some speakers tell us some motivational things.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we should do like subscriptions. Like how many people come at you saying that you need to buy.
So this year, my first year when I started and we went to Chico Hot Springs, it was a great speaker just telling us how they got into real estate, how they got busy, and like just motivating things and what we should do getting started, I guess, and what we should do for our business. It was really good topics and tips. But this year, we had a couple people trying to sell us things.
Yeah.
Which I love, and they're all great products, but
there was some of them that I had to look at where I was like, I am not in that part of my career yet.
Yeah.
To be putting another penny towards something that I'm not ready for.
And there's so many people and so many products out there that come after you the second you're a realtor. It's like you get put on this call list, you get put on this email list, you get so many of these Indian people wondering, hey, I'm just saying, I literally got one this morning and it's like, it's Chloe Milston, would you like to have some health insurance? The health insurance texts that I get on a daily basis are kind of like, I block one and 3 more come up. And I'm like, I have health insurance.
Yeah, that they call.
Calm down.
That do call. It's crazy. But also, they always say pick up the phone. pick up the phone.
Well, and a lot of them are 406 numbers.
They are, and
so
they're using
I'm a
their
realtor.
personal
Obviously, I'm
line.
going to answer my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just irritated.
I just had one, I think, last week where they're like, we want to feature you.
Oh, I got the same one. We
Yeah.
were talking about this.
Oh, yeah.
We want to feature you in this magazine, and we want you to be the face of Exit.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Oh, I'm special? Yeah, no, you're not. They just called all of the agents.
Yeah, they do. I do, however, like to play the game a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm that type of person.
I do ask, but I always say, let me think about it.
Yeah,
send me an email.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I delete that email.
A couple days later, I'm like, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
But
if you want to lower that price to free, I'm in. But otherwise, no.
This is my budget. Can you work with me?
He did say that he would give me a half page for $300.
Yeah, me too.
Not the quarter page.
Oh.
Because I talked him into a half page, and I was like, I'll think about it. And he's like, okay, well, we could get your credit card information right now. I'm like, well, I don't have my wallet with me, but thank you, I'm busy. Bye.
Is he still calling?
No, I think he emailed me a couple of times, and I just said, I'm not interested.
Yeah, I did that too. He hung up really quick after that. John? Was it John?
I don't remember his name.
It's got to be John.
You know, he was pretty convincing. I mean, like, I answer those because I'm like, how can I improve my sales, my sales experience and just my verbiage of how to get people
hooked?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
Every conversation is...
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's not always wasted, but...
When you say that you're a realtor, what do people say?
They're usually like, oh, really? The first question, how's the market?
Yeah. I get, how's the market? Or I get another one.
I haven't got that yet.
No way.
You know what's the funny story? Okay. This, I was waitressing at my job, Paul's Pancake Parlor. And I have my cards up front. And I'm the only one that does because my boss doesn't let anyone put their cards up front, but I'm an employee there. So he's like, this guy comes up to the cashier and he's checking out. And my other friend who's working the cashier, she was like telling me this story that happened because this guy saw my cards. And he looks at it and he's standing next to his wife and he goes, this woman sure might be able to sell real estate with that rack. I was like, his wife starts laughing, my friend starts laughing, and she tells me this because I was like at a table. I was at a table a couple feet away, but I didn't hear this. She told me. And I was like, oh my God, my boobs aren't even out on my cards. Calm down. And I was 19 at the time. So I was like, this old man. But also the food industry service, the amount of interactions I've had are kind of crazy. I've had a lot of stories with men in general.
Yeah. Men. That's another show.
And all the men listening on here, I love you guys.
That was meant to be positive.
That was a good, I feel like you have to have a tough shell and take everything very lightly in real estate because a lot of people, it's a very emotional process. They're either selling their house and leaving their house of 20 years that they had their kids in and grandkids or whatever, and
or coming in with a first-time home buyer,
or they're going through a divorce or going through a first-time home buyer and they're very stressed. They don't know the process. They don't know what's next. They don't know if they could afford this. It's a stressful time, and a lot of people say a lot of things that they don't mean, but you just got to sit there and take it and give them space and communicate very well. But I've learned that the hard way, and I'm still learning. But I like it. I'm pushing through.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that I joined. But do anticipate, I would say, and I got this advice after, but having 10 grand. Having 10 grand, yeah, to be comfortable.
Yeah. I guess if you're unemployed.
If you're unemployed.
I mean, I think I had 3 saved up, and I got by for the first year.
And you had another job.
Yeah.
On top of that.
To pay my bills monthly, but I had $3 grand saved up for this.
Yeah, and I mean, already if you add up your, education, test, license, MLS, the association desk, you're already at $4,500.
Mm-hmm. 4,500.
Yeah.
Whew.
That's not included in the gas.
Yeah.
Your business cards.
And that's just ours too, so it could be more. Like our desk fees are $115, but a lot of people's are more than that. And it depends per brokerage and where you're at, but that's average.
Yeah.
So,
It is average. And also, I can say, like, you're in sales. Everything is negotiable.
mm-hmm.
Even your desk fees. I mean,
yeah. I mean, that's also what I learned starting out too. Everything is negotiable. And I started out by negotiating all my bills. Like I called my electric company and I was like, so this month I need to lower my bill. I can't pay this. Can you work with me on like 40? So I got it from 70 to 40 and they just like did it. I was like, what? And then on my Verizon plan too, I was like looking online and I'm like, oh, I could choose that and I don't need that and I don't need that. And I got it down like $50 less. And so like, I've used this in all aspects of my life, and I think sales is definitely like
sales is in everyday life.
It is.
Everybody says like don't
communication,
get into sales.
Body language, personality types, which we get personality training here, which is great. I love Exit for that. Like just day to day, even if this isn't what I do for the rest of my life, this is going to get me through the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
All these skills and everything that I'm learning is just. I don't know. It's just.
I don't know.
I
love it.
It's just very valuable.
I love it all. It's not your typical corporate job.
Yeah.
It's not your 9 to 5.
You can make it. Like if you really need a system to work on, show up to the office 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Go to work.
Mm-hmm.
You're bound to make something happen because you're doing something.
Yeah.
But
it's what you make of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm attracted to it.
Uh-huh. And I feel like being around so many other realtors and just getting to know them and understanding people. What they're, who you surround yourself is who you become.
Mm-hmm.
So, hang out with some top producers.
Yeah. That's really what I did.
Yeah. And just learn, assist. Like, even if you're not starting right away making money, don't be impatient. You gotta... This is also what I've learned, just patience. Still learning, because I'm very impatient. But, yeah, so we just wanted to talk to you guys about starting out and what you're getting yourself into if you want to start as a realtor, what it is, kind of. We've sort of touched on that, but that is for another episode.
Yeah.
Taxes as an independent contractor, I didn't even know I was going to be that when I started out. So yeah, research that and don't sign up for everything. Everyone's coming at you with all these cool products and leads. Leads is also another one. Realtor.com, Zillow, you can pay for leads. A lot of them aren't screened. And what I mean by that is that they don't
But getting started, and if you don't know what you're doing once you get a lead, you're going to lose the lead.
Exactly.
So if you're... I don't know.
I mean, you can work expired listings too, and you would also talk with your broker if you have a good broker that's gonna train you, or you just think, hey, I'm not getting training, switch, come to Exit because we train.
Yeah, you want a good training program.
Yeah, and we do Buffini here, and we have a lot of options. But yeah, I'm glad we ended up where we ended up.
Mm-hmm. Me too. God is great. He put us here for a reason.
And you knew you were meant for more.
Yeah.
Yep. Me too. Well, I'm glad we had our lovely talk today.
Me too.
Oh, and I do want to recommend a book, and it's called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and it's talking about all your habit stacking that adds up. And like if you have coffee every morning and like you want to check the MLS every morning, but you just can't get that habit to stick, well, do it every day when you have your coffee. And I feel like attaching your habits that you have now and just being 1% better every day, it adds up. Like in a year, if you're 1% better every day, in a year you're going to be that much more better than you are today. Mm-hmm. And I feel like people need to like do it all at once. We're in it for the long run. You got to have patience.
Or giving up when it doesn't
work.
Like
There's so many different options that you can go about in real estate, and it's really I love this job because how hard you work really shows, and if you're not putting in the work, it also shows.
Mm-hmm.
So get good training, put in the work, show up, and do good.
Yeah, always do your best. We're going to link all of this information, so like the course information, the applications, all of this is going to be linked into our episode along with this book recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys ever have questions, just reach out.
Yeah, all of our contact information is on there, and our socials, and all of that.
So we're excited. We're excited for the next one. Stay tuned.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
And that's a wrap on this episode of Real Estate Unhinged. If you laughed, cringed, or questioned your entire career path, we did our job.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, or don't. We're not your broker.
Follow us for more unfiltered chaos, behind-the-scenes tea, and stuff we can't legally say on air.
Until next time, keep it real, keep it unhinged.